Welcome back to the Wealthy Good Life podcast. We get this question a lot from listeners thinking about a career in finance, and maybe they don't have a finance degree.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Finance is known for being competitive, and a lot of folks think that degree is the only way in.
You almost need that to even get your foot in the door, right?
Right.
But we're here to tell you that's not the only way in. There's other things you can do to show you have the skills and the knowledge.
Exactly. Employers love finance degrees because they think, okay, you have specialized knowledge, but, think of it like this. If you were hiring a chef, you wouldn't just care about their culinary degree. You would want to taste the food.
Okay. Yeah, I like that analogy.
Right.
So how do we let them taste the food, so to speak, if we don't have that degree on our resume?
Well, one way is to literally get your hands dirty. Have you heard of trading simulators?
Yeah.
I have. It's basically like a video game for finance, where you can build a portfolio and experiment with different investment strategies and really get a feel for how markets work, all without risking real money.
Oh, that's awesome. So it's a risk-free way to kind of test things out and learn as you go.
Exactly.
That sounds perfect for someone who likes to learn quickly and jump right into something new. What else?
Another thing that can help you stand out is starting a financial blog.
Okay.
Not only will it force you to learn and stay up to date, but it also acts like a portfolio that can showcase your thinking and analysis.
Ooh, that's smart. So you're learning and building credibility at the same time,
Right.
especially if you like to write and share ideas.
Exactly. And you never know who might be reading it. Could be a future employer who's impressed with your dedication and your insights.
That is a good point. Now let's talk degrees. So if someone doesn't have a finance degree, what other fields of study might surprise people in terms of being useful in finance?
A physics or math degree, believe it or not, is super valuable. These fields teach you how to problem solve and have analytical skills that are essential in areas like quantitative trading or derivatives, which are complex financial instruments that need strong mathematical ability.
Oh, wow. So someone who enjoys solving problems and is good with complex math could find a rewarding career there.
Absolutely. Another area that's becoming more and more important is IT.
Oh,
With fintech and algorithmic trading on the rise, companies need people who understand both finance and technology.
that makes sense. So if you have a background in IT, you could already be ahead of the game when it comes to breaking into finance.
Yeah.
You just need to make those connections and show how your tech skills are relevant to finance.
Exactly. Learning a programming language relevant to finance like Python would be a good idea. Or build projects that show you can analyze data and automate tasks.
Okay, cool. Now let's talk about some actual jobs. What are some entry-level finance jobs that someone could target even without that finance degree?
There's actually a lot of options. One that's always in demand is the junior financial analyst role.
Ooh, that sounds like a great way to learn from more experienced people. But what exactly would a junior financial analyst do?
They help out the senior analysts with things like financial modeling, market research, and putting together reports.
Okay.
It's a good way to get hands-on experience and build a good foundation in finance.
So it's like an apprenticeship for the world of finance.
Exactly.
And you get paid to learn from the best.
Right.
Now, for someone who's passionate about helping others, the personal financial advisor role could be a really fulfilling option.
Absolutely.
Not everybody wants to work on Wall Street, and this is a chance to help individuals manage their finances and achieve their goals.
Yeah.
What skills are important for that?
Besides needing a good understanding of financial concepts, you need to be good at communicating and connecting with people.
Makes sense.
You're going to be working directly with clients and helping them make informed decisions about their money. So you've got to be able to explain complex things in a clear and empathetic way.
Okay, now let's be realistic. Even those entry-level jobs can be competitive. So what are some things someone without that finance background can do to land these roles?
You need to tailor your resume to the specific job you're applying for.
It's like having your own personal cheer squad and mentors in your corner.
Speaking of support and resources, if you're enjoying this deep dive and want to learn more about building a wealthy, good life, be sure to visit wealthygoodlife.com.
We have tons of content to help you on your journey, but for now, let's get back to talking about gaining experience.
Okay.
Do you have any advice on how to do that?
Absolutely. And you might be surprised to hear that You probably have more experience than you realize. Managing your own finances is a really important skill.
So instead of just paying my bills and hoping for the best, you're saying I should be thinking of that as a learning opportunity.
Exactly. Track your expenses, create a budget, explore different investments. Basically, you're creating your own personal finance lab
Okay.
that shows a real-world understanding of financial concepts, and you can talk about that with employers.
That's a really cool way to think about it. It's like turning my everyday life into a finance boot camp. What if someone's really into investing? What else could they do?
They could start a blog or try their hand at stock pitching. This lets them show off their analytical skills and demonstrate their thought process to potential employers.
So it's like a portfolio of your investing knowledge. It's pretty impressive to be able to say, hey, here's this in-depth analysis I wrote about market trends, or check out this stock pitch I published.
Right. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
And you could really show that you're passionate and that you take initiative.
Exactly. Now, there's one more thing that can really help you stand out, especially if you don't have that traditional finance background.
You're talking about the CFA designation, right?
Yes. The Chartered Financial Analyst designation is well known in the finance world, and while it's not a magic solution, the CFA Level 1 exam can set you apart.
So even if you don't have a degree, it shows you're serious about finance,
Right.
you're committed to learning, and that's something companies value.
It shows you're willing to go above and beyond to learn and improve your skills, and it gives you a deeper understanding of investment principles, which is helpful for all kinds of finance roles.
This is all so encouraging. It really shows there are multiple ways to be successful in finance.
Yeah.
It's all about being strategic, proactive, and always being open to learning.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of learning, don't forget about wealthygoodlife.com.
We have tons of great content to help you build a wealthy, good life. But for now, let's talk more about the CFA and how it can help people break into finance without a finance degree.
Sounds good. It's a tough program, but the rewards can be big, especially if you're trying to break into finance without a traditional background.
It's kind of like leveling up your credentials.
Yeah,
Even if you didn't go the normal route, you can prove you have the knowledge.
exactly.
But let's be honest, passing the CFA exams is not easy.
It's not a walk in the park, no.
So what's on the CFA Level 1 exam?
It covers a wide range of topics, from ethical and professional standards to quantitative methods and portfolio management.
Okay.
It's designed to test your understanding of investment tools and concepts.
Wow, it sounds like a deep dive.
It is.
So how long do people usually study for it?
Most people spend a few months studying.
Wow.
Yeah, dedicating a good chunk of time each week. There's study materials available, prep courses, practice exams to get you ready, but it takes commitment for sure.
Yeah, it's not something to take lightly, but if you're serious about finance, it seems like the effort would be worth it.
Absolutely. Passing the Level 1 exam shows you have a solid grasp of finance, which can be a big plus when you're applying for jobs.
Okay.
It lets potential employers know you have the smarts and the drive to make it in this field.
Okay, so we've talked about skills, degrees, experience, and even certifications. But what about the things you can't really measure?
Like what?
Like your mindset.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Breaking into any competitive field, especially finance, takes a lot of resilience. You've got to be okay with facing challenges.
Mhm.
You're going to be rejected. You'll have setbacks and moments of doubt.
It's true.
It's easy to feel discouraged.
Hmm.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to give up?
I'd say remember that every successful person in finance has been there. They've faced those same challenges.
Oh.
It's all part of the journey. You got to see those setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow.
I like that. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to develop a growth mindset. Believe that you can improve with hard work and dedication. Don't let those setbacks define you.
Okay.
Use them as fuel to come back even stronger.
So resilience is key. And I think passion is a big factor too. You could have all the skills in the world. But if you don't truly love finance,
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to keep that drive over time.
absolutely. Passion is contagious. It shows in everything you do, your work, how you interact with people, your commitment to learning and growing.
Mm,
If you're truly passionate about finance, it'll shine through and make you a much stronger candidate.
I agree.
Mm.
It's like that saying, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Well, maybe not never, but you get the idea.
Exactly. When you're passionate about something, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like an exciting challenge.
Mhm.
So breaking into finance isn't about checking off boxes or following a formula. It's about having the skills, the knowledge, and the right attitude.
And remember, there's no one right path. What works for one person may not work for another. It's about finding what fits your strengths, interests, and
I
goals.
love that you said that because we've talked about all these different strategies, but
Yeah.
you need to take what works for you and make it your own.
And don't be afraid to think outside the box.
Okay.
Finance is always evolving with new roles and specializations popping up all the time.
Mm,
What unique skills or experiences do you have that could lead to a fulfilling finance career?
that's a really good question. We tend to focus so much on the traditional paths that we forget to look at our own strengths and how those could be valuable.
Think about your background. Maybe you're great at storytelling.
Mm,
You know, that would be a huge asset in financial journalism or content creation.
mm.
Or maybe you love data and analytics. You could have a career in quantitative finance or risk management.
Those are great examples. So it's all about connecting your passions with the opportunities that exist in finance.
Yeah. Exactly. And don't forget, there are resources out there to help you. Websites like wealthygoodlife.com offer a ton of information, tips, and guidance for anyone trying to navigate the world of finance.
Speaking of wealthygoodlife.com, be sure to visit if you want to learn more.
Yeah.
But for now, I just want to talk more about thinking outside the box that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The world of finance is changing so fast, and technology is a big part of that. What advice would you give to someone who wants to stay ahead of the curve and set themselves up for success in this ever-changing environment?
It's all about never stop learning. You know, the skills that are in high demand today might be gone tomorrow. So you need to be flexible and willing to embrace new tech and new ways of doing things.
So it's not just about learning one specific software or programming language. It's about being able to adapt and always be hungry to learn more.
Exactly. Keep an eye on things like AI, blockchain, and big data analytics. You know, maybe take some online courses or go to workshops to build your skill set in those areas.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
You got to be proactive and really take charge of how your career develops.
Yeah.
You can't just wait for opportunities to fall in your lap.
Right.
You need to go out there and get them and give yourself the tools and knowledge to really succeed.
And don't be afraid to experiment. You know, build projects, take part in hackathons, connect with people in the industry who are working with cutting edge technologies.
Yeah, that hands-on experience can be so valuable, especially when you're trying to impress potential employers.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to say you understand something,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lot more powerful to show that you can actually use it in a real-world scenario.
Exactly. And as you're exploring different areas of finance, don't be scared to really focus in and specialize.
Okay.
The more you know about a specific area, the more valuable you become.
So it's better to be the go-to expert in one thing than try to be okay at everything.
Right.
Okay, so as we wrap up here, I want to bring it back to what we talked about today. Breaking into finance without that finance degree. What's the one thing you want listeners to take away from this?
That it can be done. Don't let not having a certain degree stop you.
Okay.
The most important things are your passion, your willingness to learn, and being able to show what you know and what you can do. Focus on building those finance skills, show off your experience, and really cultivate that growth mindset.
Well said. It's all about being resourceful, never giving up, and believing in yourself. And remember, there are tons of resources out there to help you along the way.
Websites like wealthygoodlife.com offer a ton of great insights, tips, and advice for anyone who wants to build a successful career in finance. It doesn't matter what your background is.
That's right. Be sure to check Turt if you're feeling inspired and ready to take action. And thank you for joining us today as we dove into the world of finance careers.
It was my pleasure.
And thank you for listening to the Wealthy Good Life podcast.